Hi, my name is David Wallimann. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players like you find your voice on the instrument, develop it to tell your own personal musical story. And today, we're going to take a look at a very simple concept that you can expand on, just like all my lessons. They're just tiny little nuggets of something that hopefully can become something else. And today, we're going to take a look at what I call kicking a note. It's basically playing a note, playing an idea, and then playing it again by kicking it from above or below. I'm talking about quick slides, and we're gonna take a look at the close-up. Grab your guitar. I want this to be interactive. If anything, during this lesson, if you can play a few notes and experiment that's something that is gained. And I know that in a busy life, sometimes it's hard to get time to actually practice. So go ahead, grab your guitar. Let's take a look at the close-up. Let's work in the key of A minor pentatonic. We're going to consider the first position. The main concept here is to play a note. Let's take, for example, the third string, 7th fret. And then hear that note a second time, but that note is going to be approached by a slide from the note that is just before that note within the scale. So if we are playing the third string, 7th fret, we're going to hear that again, but approached from the third string, 5th fret, because that's the note just before within our scale. The fingering is really important here. You need to kind of plan in advance first when you're working on this technique. Then it really comes naturally. But in this case, if I'm on the third string, 7th fret, I'm using my ring finger, and I can use my index on the note just below, which is on the 5th string, to approach that 7th fret again from the 5th with the index. So I'm just using ring and index. Like that. Now what's really important is not to play with your pick or your fingers twice. Just play once and then do a quick pull-off and a slide at the same time. So it's simultaneous. You're doing the pull-off and the slide. So you kind of need to anticipate, visualize the landing note there. Okay, so that's going to be our first exercise. We're going to use the full pentatonic scale in its first position, and in order to use the right fingering, we're going to start every note with the ring finger, even the first one, ring, and then we're going to approach it from the note below, then ring, That's our exercise. You need to be comfortable with this. Now I should say, because the pull-off and the slide is really quick, the note you're sliding from is not as important as the note you're landing to. So if we were, for example, playing that third string 5th fret, which is preceded by a note on the third string 2nd fret, that is kind of a stretch here between the ring and the index. It's okay if you're approaching this from another note, a note a little closer, like the 3rd fret, for example. Even though that 3rd fret is not within that pentatonic scale, it's still okay because it's so quick. It's more of an effect type of thing. So I want you to get used to doing that, and then I want you to try to apply this kind of concept with some licks that you already play. So for example, maybe we have a lick like this. Okay. Maybe we can, with that last note, do something like that. So we're transforming this by this. Okay, that kind of thing. A lot of slides in there. Now we can reverse the movement. Instead of starting with a note that is higher and then sliding into that note from below, we can start with a note and slide into it from above. It needs to be really quick. you start messing around with these notes with the first position. Maybe we transition a little bit into that second one. You start combining both. It's a great way to go from one position to the next. And once you get the idea, the technique, once you have this down, or this, you need to think in terms of really short phrases. I don't want you to get overwhelmed with, I've got to create this big solo, long sentences. No, just short musical ideas. Just a few words, a few notes are enough for this. And be as expressive as you can there. I'm using a kind of a crunchy tone. It's not too overdriven. It's not too clean. I think that's the perfect way to work on these techniques because you get a really wide range of different sounds really with your pick. It's really dynamic. You can hear when you're playing with your fingers. I think it's the best tone for that kind of thing because this is an expressive technique, and if the tone helps your expression, you've got it made. I'm going to play a little bit here, and I'm going to gradually transition into getting some modal sounds with this. So I'll make the distinction between a pentatonic scale, a 5-note scale, and the full mode, which is a 7-note scale. For example, Dorian. 7 notes. So we've got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're only 2 notes away. I covered that extensively in previous lessons. But we can target some of the notes within your mode that you're playing in with that technique too. So for example, let's say that we're in a typical kind of blues progression. Okay, and you're thinking of the A minor chord, A minor 7 chord as a Dorian mode. Well, I'm going to start with my pentatonic scale. And I want to now suggest more colors using that Dorian mode. So we're only 2 notes away, a major 2nd and a major 6 away, and I can pinpoint those by using those as starting point to my sliding into it. It's a really easy way to kind of, ease your way into those more expressive scales, the 7-note scales like that. So this works on a pentatonic-based type of improv, but also in modal improv, and maybe more so the cage system type of thing, where it's a narrower scale as opposed to the 3-note per string system, which works too, but I feel that it works better with the more caged, narrow area of the fretboard because you can target the notes more easily and visualize what's going on also. Anyways, that's what I had for you. Develop this at your own pace and use it in your own improvs if you like the sound. If you don't like the sound, there's no point in working on this. There's so many other things you can do. Hope you enjoy this. To help you practice this concept, I have a few backing tracks that you can download for free with some charts and scale suggestions. All you need to do is visit the link below, enter your best email address, and I'll be sending you those right away. And if this was your first visit on the channel, thanks for checking this out. You should consider subscribing because every week I have about 3 videos like this one helping guitar players like you find your voice, develop it, to tell your own musical story. No one can play the way you play on the guitar. This is what it's all about. Thanks for watching this. I'll see you next time.